modules, and I'm still setting up here for the workshop today. And I actually decided to expand it because I've gotten quite a few emails while I was on my New Year's Eve vacation asking for business advice, specifically about how to start different types of businesses, not strictly retail. So the information today will be more general in nature. I'm just going to post the link on the Facebook Queen Hustle page. And I want to let you know while I'm doing this is that this is a part of Huronora Foundation, which is a charity that I started to accomplish a couple things. One, which is to provide mentorship business advice for people. Sorry, let me just put the comment here with the link. For people who want to start businesses. I meet a lot of people that want to start a side hustle, especially in relationship to the pandemic, where they lost their job or they have become underemployed, and they need additional income, and they're trying to figure out, well, what can I do besides just spend my stimulus check paying rent, which is great. I am so happy that people have approached me about that, wanting to do more than just spend the $600, $1,200, whatever it is you're getting. I'm merely paying a bill because that doesn't generate income for you. So let me just post this really quick. How to start a business. Let's start it now. Okay. So I'm putting up a chat there. This will be available live. So if you have a question, put it in the chat and I will try to answer it at the end. If it's really specific, like I feel like you need a very specific answer that may not apply to everybody, then we'll have to set up a consultation. It's something I've been doing over the last several years, helping people start a business from like zero knowledge all the way to trying to figure out their target market. Also, how to adjust for changes in their particular market. But a lot of people approach me about idea generation. I'm what you call an innovation consultant, where I help people figure out what business they should go into, what business theirs. So there are lots of different businesses one can go into, but which one you're specifically suited for requires a conversation with me. And by just in conversation with me and me asking you a few questions, I can kind of figure out your personality, what your strengths are. I'll talk to you about, what you think your weaknesses are and whatnot, and what you've dabbled in before, what you wanted to do, etc. It helps me figure out what kind of business you should be in. So, there's somebody wants to work in investments, but they have no idea how the market works. They have no desire to do the research. They hate listening to the news, but they think they know how to invest. Well, you know what? That's not the business for you. However, that person is really good with woodwork, and they never thought about turning that hobby into a business. And I am like I guess you call serendipity or something, where I help people find that path. So let's start with the workshop. All right. So money. Yes, money does make money. That is for sure. But do you need a lot of money to start a business? It depends on the business you want to start. And sorry, I'm just looking at notes here while I am talking to you guys. Okay, so money is a resource, but it is not the only thing considered a resource. Other resources, your social circle. So that's the people you hang out with. That's the people you meet at the bar and talk about life and whatnot. That's the people that you go to church with, your church group. You are part of a book club, that's your social circle. Your neighbors that you talk to, that's part of your social circle. Your coworkers are actually also part of that social circle. So it's not merely friends, it's everyone you deal with on a regular basis. What else are resources? Bank loans. Do you own a home? Well, that is a source of capital. Capital also means money. Source of capital for you to use to start your business. What else is a resource? Your own experience and your own imagination. So experience, not just work experience, what you do for a paycheck. It's also your experience outside of that. So if you garden and you grow roses, you know something about gardening. If you have a knack for helping people get organized, that's a skill set too. If you help friends with their taxes, that is a huge skill set. If you are good at helping people resolve their problems, um, helping people um, work through their own work issues or personal issues, those are skills too. Your intelligence. So if you've got a master's degree in social work and you're not working in social work, those are still skills and intelligence you can rely on and use that to apply to a particular type of business. Time. Time is a huge resource. If you only have to work 6 to 8 hours, 5 days a week, that is a blessing. I work about 80 plus hours a week. There are days where I may get like 2 or 3 hours sleep because I got multiple businesses. So yes, time is a huge resource and actually can really help you. The more time you have, it gives you the opportunity to work on a different type of business like coding. If you want to do your own app and you don't have the money to hire out to do coding, you can actually take a class to learn how to code if you only know the basics. There's online classes. There are actually still in-person classes to do that, but you need time. What else? Your manual skills. I mentioned earlier how someone might know woodworking. They do great woodwork design, but they never considered it a career or something that they could use to start a business. So all of these are resources besides money. So money cannot buy you everything. You have to look within to see what resources you have, and that's something that I can help you figure out through a personal consultation, because there are some really creative and talented people that do not consider those skills worthwhile. I just make portraits on the side. I paint plates. And they never think about monetizing that skill, and that's one of my gifts, helping you figure out how to monetize it. There are actually some businesses out there that do not require any capital to start. And there's a slew of them, but that would require a whole different workshop. We only have like 50 more minutes for me to talk to you about all the things you need to start a business. But there are businesses that do not require money to start. It does require time and sales skills. But I'll go into that in another workshop entirely. Okay, so what do you need first to start a business? Well, you need a business idea. Business idea. So that could be a service, that could be a product. Is your business idea unique? Like, is it brand new and nobody's done anything like it? Like, you know how some of these restaurants come up with these fantastical food items. Like, let me see. You make a pear gorgonzola cheese and crusted French bread cheese sandwich, and it's absolute best. No one's ever made one before. That's a unique idea. It's still a cheese sandwich, but you've combined fruit, so now it's a new idea. Is that something that you do? Is your business idea unique in that manner? Is it something that your target market really wants right now and they just don't have? It's a niche that hasn't been filled, a desire that no one's tried to fulfill. There are, in this day and age, still things out there that no one's invented, services that no one has thought to provide yet. So maybe that's what you have, but more than likely you have an improvement on something that's already out there. So, the improvement, is it something cheaper? Is it more luxurious than what's out there? Are you providing a better service than what's available? Is it something personalized that really hasn't been personalized in the manner that you can do it? Like when people want a personalized tote bag, can you do that? Vistaprint does it. There are sellers on Etsy, Etsy, it's .com. Sorry, it's a website for people who make items themselves to sell rather than a huge manufacturer. So is your personalization something you can offer on Etsy, or is it something you can offer, person to person? What else? Oh, so another way to personalize things like airbrush sneakers and like Photoshop filters have helped people make their photos better. That's something that has been personalized to the individual rather than you learning how to use Photoshop, which I had to do because I was in art school. And it's a fantastic piece of software. If you have the time to learn it, go ahead and learn it. But if all you want to do is fix your blemishes and whatnot for Instagram, you can use a Photoshop filter. And also, if you're working as a website designer, you should actually learn how to use Photoshop. That's a side note. Anyway, the point is, what can you do better than what's already out on the market? What can you do differently that's already out on the market? One thing that tons of people do, and it's very easy to get into, is making graphic designs for t-shirts. You have a slogan, just go and get a commercial font and put your little slogan or your quote on a t-shirt. Or what's popular is you take somebody else's idea and you customize it for yourself. Now, you have to be careful there if there are images involved, like the one with the crown, and it has the whole drink beer, carry on type thing, whatever it is. And lots of people use it, but you have to change the crown a little bit, or maybe you take out the crown. So you have to be a little bit careful there when you borrow people's graphic t-shirt designs, but it's very easy to get into. And you don't need an established brand to do it. You just need something that's visually pleasing. Okay, what else? Okay, so you got your business idea. You need to create a plan. No, you don't need to create one of those 20-page documents with pro formas, charts, and graphs. That's for the bank when you're ready to get a loan. This is a plan for you to organize what you need to do. And the best thing you can do is start with your idea and get it down to 1 to 2 sentences. What is this business idea? Is it a product? Describe that product in 1 to 2 sentences. Is it a service? Describe what that is in 1 to 2 sentences. Doing that, it might take you like a good half an hour to succinctly get that idea together, but that's okay because you're going to be spending money on this idea. So it's best that you get it down pat, what it is that you are doing. You also need to do these other things in your business plan. And mind you, this is just your personal business plan. You need to figure out who your target market is and how you will reach them. So what is a target market? Your target market are the groups of people that you want to sell your service or product to. And this group or groups, they all share similar attributes that you need in order for them to buy your product. Who is your competition and where are they? So if you make cupcakes, you make personalized cupcakes, you have to figure out who are all the other people, all the other businesses that make personalized cupcakes. Is it the local grocery store like Pick and Save? And this is for people in Milwaukee that I'm talking to that know about Pick and Save. There's tons of people on Facebook that make personalized cupcakes as well. Is it caterers? Like you have to figure out who your competition is and where they are. So if you make cupcakes, more than likely your competition is local because it's a perishable item. But if you make something that's non-perishable, like a t-shirt, and it's just a generic t-shirt, it's not location specific, your competition is a much larger base. So not only are you competing with people locally that make graphic t-shirts, You're also competing with everybody on Amazon that makes it, everybody, the Walmarts that make Target. Like, your competition is huge, but that's okay because people are always looking for a unique idea. So they don't mind buying stuff from an unknown. But the problem is that you have to reach that person. What else you need in your business plan? You need to know your labor requirements. Labor being the work, the hours that go into putting your business together and maintaining it. So that's all the research and all the work that needs to be done ahead of time. And it's always more than you think. So if you think it's going to take you 1 hour, you might as well multiply that number by 3. Okay, what else do you need in your business plan? You need to know what your budget is. So I'll help you figure that out too. What else is in your business plan? How will your business be financed? So more than likely, you're going to need a little bit of money, depending on, the size of your idea. And like I said, there are businesses you can start that require no money, but that is another discussion altogether. Okay, so let's go over target market. Like I mentioned before, target market means the group or groups of people that you want to sell your product to, and that they share similar attributes that make them more open to your idea. So certain attributes. What are attributes? They are things like age. They are where they live, what zip code, their interests. Do they like books? Do they like to ride bikes? Are they college students? What is their income level? What is their educational level? Not all of these attributes I mentioned matter. It depends on your business idea or service. If you say you make chairs, graduated need chairs, new families that just moved in somewhere need chairs. Lots of people need chairs, but what is it about your chair? You have to figure out what's unique about your chair and the group that would appreciate that. Let me see here. Okay, so a good place to find your target market is online. So let's assume that your business idea or service is similar to what's available out there. We'll just go with floral arrangements. So you want to look at social sites like Facebook and Instagram. You want to look at blogs and websites that mention keywords that include flowers or floral arrangements, specific events that require it, like funerals, birthday parties, Valentine's Day, they have a boyfriend or girlfriend or something. You have a long set of you have to have about 20 something keywords, and you can't put all of them in, because what you're doing is you're looking for those words on a page, on a post. So you can't put all the words because no one's going to have all those words. So you have to pick flowers, funeral, flowers, birthday party, floral arrangement, wedding, things like that. So just a few keywords at a time, and you want to comb through Facebook, their search box that they have there. You want to do a general search through Google, Bing, or Yahoo, whatever it is you use. And you want to look at Instagram accounts. So flowers are a very visual thing. People love to take pictures of flowers or like pictures of flowers. So you want to do hashtag keyword searches on Instagram to see who is liking the pictures of the flowers, not merely who's posting it, because sometimes those are other floral companies, and that's your competition. You want to look at who's liking it. And then you want to try to figure out, when you look at their profile, where they live. Floral arrangements, if you're providing it, you're most likely going to just do it locally within like the county. So you want to see who lives in your county, who's liking those posts. So maybe you want to include the keyword Milwaukee flowers, Milwaukee flowers funeral, Milwaukee flowers wedding, whatnot. So that's how you look online through Facebook and Instagram, as well as in general websites and blogs. You want to also, if you're on Facebook, you want to look at who's putting up those posts. If it's just an individual, look at their friends. Yes, look at their friends, because their friends could possibly be your customers. So you want to set up a Facebook page for your business. You can either set up a personal page, your own personal page, or you can set up a Facebook business page. and like those people. If you're ready to promote your business, send them messages, ask them questions. Where do you buy your flowers? Great question. And you can find out where people shop locally. How else do you figure out your target market? Your own personal social circle. So remember earlier I mentioned social circle, who is in that. That is not just the friends you go to the bar and drink with. It's also your work colleagues. It's the people you go to church with. Even if you don't talk to everybody in the pew, those are still part of your social circle. And before, after church, or during church-related events, talk to people. Ask them questions. Oh, do you buy XYZ products similar to what you're trying to create? Oh, do you use personal caregivers? If you're starting a caregiver business, you ask people questions. And I know it's hard to talk to strangers. It's really hard, but you have to think about your end goal, which is, I eventually want to sell my product and service to someone like this. I need to know what's going on up here. And you can't figure that out by merely observing with your eyes. You have to talk to people. And if they ask you why you want to know, say, hey, I'm coming up with something similar. I'm not ready for market, but let me get your email or your Facebook name, and I can send you details later. Great way to start building your database. Talk about that in another broadcast. Okay, so we talked about how to figure out your target market, which is keyword searches on social media and asking your social circle, your church acquaintances, the people you work with, the people you are at the gym with. Wherever there's people, those people are considered part of, you see them regularly, those people are part of your social circle. Okay, analyzing your marketing challenges is something else you need to put in your business plan. This is just for you, mind you. So you need to figure out who your competition is. Say you create healthy juices from scratch. They don't have any preservatives. They have all these health benefits that you can list. So who's your competition if you make healthy juice? So it's not really going to be Walmart and Target, because they have to order things in these massive bulk that gets shipped in. So most of the time, these things have preservatives, and no one really goes to Target or Walmart thinking, I'm going to get freshly made juice. No, but they do go to Fresh Time Market. Again, this is aimed at people in Milwaukee. So we have a grocery store called Fresh Time Market that's similar to Trader Joe's. It's more expansive, however. And they, like I mentioned, Trader Joe's. They go to Trader Joe's. They also go to Sendix. They go to Metro Market. But you don't find the same quality of juice from one place to the other. I know Fresh Time Market makes their custom blend juices on site. So does Pick and Save. However, they only make 2 flavors, orange juice and grapefruit juice. They also can make you, at certain ones, they will make a customized drink just for you, but they're not always there. I don't even know if they're there right now during the pandemic, this pandemic happening. But they used to be able to go up to a juice bar and order a customized juice, but they are rarely there. Like, you might catch them between 12 and 1:30, and that's it. So there's an opportunity there for you to offer your fresh juice. Do you want to offer white label for your fresh juice? So again, that's an opportunity that your target market might appreciate. So white label means generic. Say Pick and Save wants to offer more juices. I mentioned Pick and Save. Okay, well, white label it meaning I'm not going to put my brand on it. I'm just going to offer it wholesale by the gallon, and then Pick and Save can put their label on it. That's a way for you to make money. It doesn't distinguish you as a brand, but that's okay. Maybe you don't want to go through all the hassle of creating a brand and trying to market your name. Maybe you don't have the money. That's okay. There are businesses that start in the white label market and then they go private label, meaning that they eventually do have enough money to create their own brand. And they can say, hey, we used to supply blah, blah with our product, and now you can buy it from all these other places. Anyway, so again, we're under the header of figuring out your market by figuring out who your competition is. So will your competition be able to easily replicate and sell your idea? And most of the time, like 90% of the time, that answer is yes. So what can you do as a no-name, anonymous person out there to differentiate? There's so many different ways you can do it. You can micro focus your product for a specific area. Let's say t-shirts. There are thousands of people that make t-shirts, but how many make t-shirts with 414? One. How many people make t-shirts that name certain neighborhoods? One brand, and not even all neighborhoods. How many talk about how much beer and cheese and the Packers? I don't even know if you can put Packers on there because I'm sure that's trademarked. But how many people put the word Milwaukee in beer and whatnot? Maybe like one brand. So there are niche markets not fully explored in our hometown of Milwaukee. Is your product more accessible? Can you make deliveries of your specialized cupcakes to people? Can people actually go to specific places to pick up your cupcakes that is local to them, like their neighborhood? If you live in certain parts of Milwaukee, there like literally is no grocery store within 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So if you're in that area and you make customized goodies that nobody else makes in that area, offer pickup service. What else can I tell you? Is your product or business idea more personalized? Again, earlier mentioned tote bags. People are still having birthday parties. They're still having anniversary parties. They're still having repasts. They are having different gatherings to commemorate things and milestones. And lots of times these people want personalized items. They want personalized t-shirts. They want tote bags. They want customized, to go. What was I about to say? Oh, those little lotion. It's like an emergency kit for bridesmaids. They want a personalized one. They don't want the generic one that's out there. They want one that has like a little cocktail kit, Band-Aids, an emergency phone number, like, a $5 Visa card, personalized gift for their bridesmaids. Some of them want certain things bedazzled on mugs, but they have the exact mug they want. They got it from who knows where place. They got 10 of them, but they can't find anybody to personalize it. A lot of times when they go online to order personalized things, unless you're ordering massive quantities, like I need 50 of them, you're not going to get a good deal. They're going to charge you a lot more money for 10 personalized items than if you had ordered 50. So there's a niche that you could differentiate if you also offer personalized services like Vistaprint does, Vistaprint.com, excuse me. What else can I tell you? Is your product cheaper? So there's still an opportunity, even if you're not Walmart or Target or Costco. They don't buy everything. They can't. They don't have the physical room. So there's an opportunity where if you got a wholesale deal, someone's offering you a wholesale deal for school uniforms, and there's like 20 parents that still need school uniforms, you can send out a text message. Hey, I got a deal on this school uniform, costs XYZ dollars, prepay, tell me the size, and it can be delivered by XYZ date. So there are small opportunities to do things like that, where you can still undercut your competition, even if it is Target, because Target doesn't sell everything. Okay, so under your business plan, you need to figure out your labor requirements. That is really hard to do because you will have an idea of the things that you need to do in general, but normally what happens is you think you just have to do this one thing, but you have to do 2 more things before you can do that one thing, and you didn't realize it until you started working on it. One is like when you get a license from the city. When I had to get a tavern license for this restaurant that I helped run with my family, Jules Caribbean, by the way, I should have mentioned that. That's where I am. This is the graffiti room. I don't know if you can see it, but this is actually a place you can rent for events. It's really cute. Anyway, you can go to julescaribbean.com to find out more about it, but that's where I'm broadcasting from. It's also where I did the Black Friday event where I promoted businesses owned by people of color right before the official Black Friday last November, and it was pretty fun, and I got to talk about some businesses that I didn't know about as well. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. But anyway, back to labor requirements. So when I was getting a tavern license for this restaurant called Jules Caribbean, there was one form to fill in, which was, about 2, 3 pages. But before I could turn that in, I also had to do a business plan specific for them. So I already had a business plan that I did for the bank, but that's not what they wanted. They wanted something else. So they had their own form for that. But before I could turn in the tavern license and the business plan, I had to go get a police report about me saying, basically I'm a good person. And then that was complicated because I had to, oh my God, how many things I had to do? I had to go to this one office to hand in a form. And then they said, well, you can't hand it in here. You need to go online and request it. And then they gave me 2 different places where I had to fill in one more form to turn it in online. And then they had a fingerprint request involved with this. I had to do a supplemental application. I still couldn't hand in the tavern license until I got a bartender license. So then you have to take a class to get a bartender license. So even though it says online, when you're looking at licenses that you might have to obtain, and it says, okay, you need this license, you have to read the fine print. And even then, they didn't have all the information. So you got to make a phone call. So what turned out to be what I thought was just a 2-page document ended up being about 10, 12 pages of data and drawings and business plans and police reports and fingerprints that I had to get to them. And even when I turned it all in, they were telling me, oh, I need to fix this, I need to fix that. So what turned into an estimated 4-hour project was really about 30 altogether, going back and forth with various people at the license division in Milwaukee. So again, when you estimate a time to accomplish something, multiply that by 3. So what else will require time? So your initial setup will have different time requirements than the actual running of your business. And you won't really know how much time is required for running your side business until you get into it, unfortunately. So you need to think about how much time it's going to take, how much time you can set aside to do internet research, in-person research with the social circle, or, and it doesn't have to be just you. We'll talk about getting your team together later. You need to make phone calls. If you have, whether it's a product or a service, you're going to have to make business phone calls, and the business hours are generally between 7 a.m. to 3 or 5 p.m. It really depends. When you're dealing with the city, their hours are much shorter. So you have to be able to call, and you can't wait to call. If they close at 3, don't call at 2:50. Do not call at 2:45. You need to call at least by 30 minutes before they close. And even then, they may say, oh, we don't have enough time to answer this question, call tomorrow. And also, what time zone are you calling? Are you calling the East Coast, the West Coast? Do you need to call manufacturers in China? If you got to call somebody in China, guess what? You're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning to talk to them when they are open. What else? You might have to pick up items. Sometimes when items are shipped, they can't leave it at your home. You have to sign for it, which means you have to sit at your house all day or have somebody else sit at your house all day. Many times I've had an estimated delivery date for something coming out of China or Indonesia or Pakistan, and it's late or it's early. Whole day early, very rare, but normally it's late. So I've sat at my house all day. Now I got to find somebody else to sit at my house. And even if you call the shipper, like, hey, call me, let me know, they'll give you like a 4-6 hour window, and they still won't come to that 4-6 hour window. So you need to have, that takes a lot of time, and you might need to have somebody on your team, your squad, help you with that. Emails have to be responded to. When you're starting a business, you got to respond, even when you are running your business. There are certain people you need to respond to right away, like within a day. So if you can't do it, you've got to figure out somebody else who can do it, or tell people your business days and hours are specific to certain days and times of the week. And even then, if the person you're dealing with, the business you're dealing with, is a much bigger giant than you are, you will have to make adjustments to meet their availability. That's what you have to do in business to become a big dog. And even then, you still don't have to adjust your hours. Putting your product together. Does your product require being put together like this? This is one of my businesses, NM Jewels. I make products that contain CBD. So I came up with the recipes that took time. I put the lotion that comes in this bottle, I put this together. I can farm that out to people, but I put that together. It takes time. I ordered the bottles. I ordered the caps. I sanitize it. All this takes time. I designed that label. It takes time. Placing the label on here takes time. When it's ready to ship, I'm the one that picked all of the shipping items required to pack this in a box and ship it out. That requires time. Literally putting in the box, putting all the packing in there, taping it, printing the label, putting it on the box and sending it out, notifying the customer that, hey, your product is on the way. Here's the tracking detail. When customers email and say, hey, where's my product? Somebody's got to respond to that email within 24 hours, 48 hours, the latest. All that takes time. When you get, another thing that actually, going back to communication, emails and phone calls, text messages are especially important these days. So having WhatsApp, WeChat, and a text messaging app on your phone are really essential, especially when you're dealing with businesses overseas because they use WhatsApp quite frequently. Some use WeChat as well. And so it's really important that you have a reliable phone and a constant phone number. This idea of I'm getting a new phone number every time I get a phone or being careless with your phone cannot happen when you have a business. So if you are one of those people that loses your phone at least twice a year, or you left it at somebody's house, a car, whatever, you're careless, you need to get a Google phone number and use that as your business phone number because that number can be transferred from one phone to the other. Even if you have your own regular phone number, you still need a business phone number, a Google phone number, or another anonymous type of phone number because you need to be able to differentiate when you get a phone call if that's a business phone call or a personal phone call. Because frequently you're not in a physical space where you can have a business conversation. So if that special ring comes up for your Google phone, you need to be able to be like, okay, where's my plan B spot? Or can I just text this person back or have an automated message sent saying, hey, I'm not available right now, but I'll call you back. And you need to be able to check that message right to see if you need to leave your day job for a couple minutes for your early lunch break or just a smoke break and talk to that person right away. Again, that's time, setting up that number and keeping up with what's going on as far as voice and text messages. What else do you need time for? Accounting. I hate accounting. I know how to do it, but that definitely takes time, and I have learned the hard way, not something you should even put off till the end of the month. It's something you need to look at weekly. If you spend the kind of money I spend on business, which is probably a couple $1,000s a month, you need to track every last dollar that you spend. You need to track all your expenses. Those expenses will include not only your product, but your phone. If you have a Google number, you have a website, there's at least 3 costs right there for your website alone. Buying your domain name, which is usually an annual purchase that occurs, web hosting, and the actual website. So if you go through a service like Shopify, that is a monthly fee. Plus, I believe they take fees from your profits. It depends, but I know there's definitely a monthly fee with Shopify, some of these e-commerce sites that promote themselves as, oh, it's so easy to set up. You're going to need about 20 to 30 hours to set up your e-commerce site, no matter how easy they tell you it is, because there are images involved, there's text, there's setting up your connecting. If you have PayPal or Square, connecting your account with that site. It's not as hard as doing coding, for sure. But it's not easy either. No matter what these sites tell you, it's not that easy. It requires quite a bit of back-end administration, and normally it goes wrong the first time, and you have to get on a blog. Sometimes there's a customer service community specifically for that template or that Shopify site that you set up. It takes time to set all the business taxes. So that the business taxes are something that you will have to do annually. But if you have employees and a lot of sales, you get a sales permit, which I will say off the record, you don't always have to do. But if you're the kind of business like a restaurant or a daycare, or you sell food, even if you sell food out of your house, which they are cracking down on, just want to warn you guys, the city of Milwaukee health department is cracking down on all you home chefs. So if you sell something perishable and whatnot, you have to get a sales permit through the Department of Revenue, and depending on whatever the status is that they declare you have, you may have to pay sales tax monthly. If you have employees, you would have to pay withholding either quarterly, which means every 3 months. There are 4 quarters in a year. So it's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So at the end of every quarter, I think they give you like 30 days, you have to pay withholding if you have employees. If you have contractors, that's a little different, but you have to be very careful about how you treat the contractor, which is different than how you treat an employee. For the best advice, I suggest you go online and research or talk to an attorney or lawyer, because it's very sticky. So if you have an employee, there's withholding. So for income tax, you have to withhold money on the state level, on the federal level. You have to withhold Social Security. You have to withhold federal unemployment as well as state unemployment. You have to withhold Medicare. And if they have a healthcare plan through the open market, I believe there's some additional benefit or tax for that as well. There's a lot. All that requires time. You got to research how to set that up, and you can talk to the Department of Revenue in your state, in your municipality. You can talk to the SBA, Small Business Association. I have not had the best of luck with them as far as businesses setting up a business is concerned, because it's very generic information. Even one-on-one, when I was talking to people at the SBA, I might as well have been talking to somebody over in New York, because the information was so generic. One of your best resources is to look online. Also, because no one really polices the internet, there's some misguided information on there. So the more time you spend researching things, the more you can kind of figure out, okay, well, that's not good info. That's bad info. So you have to talk to professionals. You can go into a chat room like Reddit. Reddit is a great resource, reddit.com. It's a great resource to get information. Some of it is misguided, but you definitely can get some informed opinions, I should say, on there. But again, you have to have a certain amount of knowledge yourself to kind of figure out who's pulling your leg or not. Okay, so we're still under the head of labor requirements and time constraints. So time is a huge, huge thing. You only get 24 hours a day, but each person that you get on your team can help expand that time, essentially. We'll talk about your squad later. Budget. So what else needs to be on your business plan is your budget. How much money do you have? And your budget is deciding how much money you're going to spend on each thing. So what are those things? Say you got your stimulus check, that's $600. You can't start a business with $600, by the way. You also need some Plan B money too. Plan B money is to take care of the expenses that were greater than you thought they were. So if you think you can use all $600 to start your business and have no money on the side, I'm sorry, you can't. You need to have another $600 or more on the side. So basically look to only spend about half of whatever you get for your stimulus to start your business. So what else do you need? All right. So I personally suggest if you're starting a micro business, meaning you're just going to make some t-shirts or you're going to do some personalized items. You have a few items to demonstrate what your capabilities, right? So you buy a few things, you have a few pictures. You want to start your own website to sell XYZ product. I don't really recommend that if you're starting a micro business, like t-shirts, personalization, you have a catering business, whatnot. I'm going to take catering out because you actually need pictures, but you can have a Facebook. So you need a Facebook page, your own personal page. You don't have to have a business page at first. You can just have your personal page. Facebook is free. You also will need to have plenty of photos on there. Photos, if you're a good photographer, and most of you aren't, you can set it up for almost no money except for the cost of your photo filters, right? But more than likely, you're going to have to get somebody you know that takes really good photos, especially for food. Food photos are really hard. So if you can get a professional to do food photos, and I'm not talking about somebody who takes pictures of friends and family for their little wedding photos or whatever, that's not a pro. You need to find a pro, or you need to subscribe to something like Adobe Stock that has pictures of food already professionally taken. You make cute cupcakes, go find a cute cupcake picture on one of these stock photo sites, Shutterstock, Getty Images, and put it up there and say, I can personalize this cupcake for you with your name or whatever, right? And make sure you do have at least one photo that you took of your food, but depend more on professional photos, but that costs money. An Adobe photo stock costs like, I think, $50 a month, I want to say, for access to like 1 million images. Shutterstock, I think they charge per image. Getty, I believe they have a subscription service as well, but there's like 100 more where you can find professional photos. You need to spend on your initial product if you are making a product. So if you're making t-shirts, you probably should buy a t-shirt or two and try it out and make it, obviously, to see what it's going to look like. You have to buy your actual screen print machine. Or if you're going to hand paint it, you got to buy the stuff to actually paint it. Your paintbrushes, the paints, the board that you need to put the t-shirt on. If you're making juices, you have to buy the fruit to make the juice, or you're buying juices from somebody else to custom blend to make your own for people. So you have to figure out, okay, well, how many do I want to sell? I just want to sell 50 to see how it goes. Okay, well, you need to buy supplies to make 50 of whatever it is. If you are going to be selling your stuff online, like I said, you can just start with a Facebook page, but you might need a website. Websites cost money. Even if it's a Shopify, they're like, oh, you don't have to worry about the domain name. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about setting up the shopping cart or the payment method. All that is really great because it takes a lot of effort to put that together. However, that costs money. A Shopify site could cost you $200 a month. Are you going to make $200 a month? You won't at first. You might do that the second month, depending on your marketing or what you're trying to sell, But again, that costs money. So you have to look at, okay, I think I will be profitable in month 8 or next year. You need to make sure you have enough money to pay all of those bills that you will be accumulating for that time frame, and then a few months more, just in case. Because even though you might start selling, you might not be selling enough to cover all your expenses. And you have to be able to reinvest once you start selling your products. So that was an issue I had when I had started a clothing line back in Los Angeles. I had it in about 3 stores on Melrose and Robertson. Really good start. However, because my bills were so high, when I did make money, most of it had to go after my initial investment. I didn't really have any money saved to keep making product. So I sold my products to the stores, or they're on consignment, but I never was in a place where I sold more than enough to reinvest in my business. That money that I earned went to pay my rent. So that line lived and died over the course of like a year and a half because I couldn't reinvest in it. You have to make sure that if you're going to have business and you want to be in business for XYZ amount of time, that you have enough money to get you to that finish line, even if your product doesn't sell. Because sometimes, most of the time, you think your product's going to go bonkers in 6 months and it may take a year and a half. What else do you need to consider for your budget? All those permits, fees, licenses. If you're leasing a space, how much is that going to cost you? If you're doing consignment, like I mentioned earlier, that's money you're not going to be earning. That's product sitting in somebody else's store. So you have to take all that in consideration when you're thinking about your budget. If you are going to go to an expo or conference, which I suggest for certain things, like there's something called a fancy food show. So if you have created these new flavors of sauces, you may want to go to a food show in your area. Chicago, if you're in Milwaukee, you're going to go to Chicago. If you can afford to, you go to New York, but I wouldn't even go to the fancy food show. It's literally called Fancy Food Show in New York until you have all your ducks in a row, meaning your manufacturer lined up, your labeling, you've met the FDA requirements to make sure your product's safe, all that. I would suggest smaller expos and conferences and local festivals to sell your product at first in your area, like Strawberry Festival in Cedarburg, where if you have this, you make strawberry jelly, yours is the best jelly in town. Okay, well, you want to go to all the strawberry festivals during strawberry season, all of them. That costs money. You have to pay the fee to get a booth. You have to pay to get the actual booth. Sometimes the festival will offer you the opportunity to purchase a booth, or it's required that you lease from them. Like if you're at the Wisconsin Center, they already provide the booth, the tablecloths, because they want a standard look. So some festivals and expos and conferences will do that, but you have to pay, and it's expensive. Sometimes, you are not allowed to put up your own stuff. You have to hire the union workers. But smaller events around town, you probably won't have to, like the farmers market. Excuse me. But there's a fee to set up shop there. You have to pay for your table. You have to pay for your tablecloths. You have to pay for bags so people can take your item away. You may have to pay a fee to use Square so that people can buy your product. You may have to hire someone to help out, because when you are at a festival, it can't really just be you. You need someone there with you. Hopefully that's someone part of your squad. I have to skip ahead because I only got like 4 more minutes here to talk to you guys. Capital. So capital basically is the money you need to start your business and to keep it running. Where is that coming from? Hopefully you have a day job, and your income from your day job can pay for a part of that. You should be using your stimulus check, but you will need some additional money depending on the costs associated with getting your business idea out there. Crowdfunding. There's 2 types of crowdfunding. There's the online crowdfunding from anonymous people who you put up your idea and they decide to make a contribution. You have a list of things that you offer in exchange for that investment. You can look at crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter, GoFundMe, crowdfunding.com, and like 59 others to see what other people are offering. So sometimes it really has nothing to do with that product and service. They may offer a t-shirt, even though you're not selling t-shirts, t-shirt with the name of the company on it. They may offer shares in the company. They may offer like a special dinner with the owner if it's a local, have dinner with the owner type thing. Whatever, you offer something that you think of is valuable in exchange for investment in your business. Your other crowdfunding source is the people you know. Yes, I know it's hard to ask for some of us, hard to ask people in your social circle for money, but it's the same thing as online. You offer incentives. So you can offer way more incentives when you are crowdfunding locally, because you can say, hey, if you give me $100 to start my business, I'll come over and make dinner for you one day. Or I will make you dinner and deliver it, since it's pandemic, not everybody wants everybody in the house like that. I will go and pick up your dry cleaning for a month if you donate XY dollars. I will take care of that report you needed done for work if you give me XYZ dollars to start my business. The best thing you can do when you do crowdfunding with people you know is to offer other things of value, not repayment. Because you are just starting out, it's going to be really difficult for you to pay people back, at least on the short term. If they're like, oh, I want my, when am I going to get my money back? You can offer a always zero interest. People do not offer people interest payments on personal loans if you can, unless it's like $10,000, $100,000. Then you're talking about different type of money. But if they're just offering, all you're asking $100, $50, offer something of value. Like you will make them custom made juice. You will take their shoes to get cleaned, their sneakers. Some people are obsessed about their sneakers. You'll take them somewhere to get cleaned, or you'll do it. You will garden for them. You will. Here's a good one right now. You will shovel their snow XYZ times, or you'll make sure it's cleared by the time they're ready to go to work, or whatever it is that you think you can do or have the time to do. Offer that instead of straight cash repayment. That was much better. Another way to get capital is a loan on your home. You take out a second mortgage on your home. I don't recommend doing that for micro businesses. I think you should start much smaller than that. By the time you're ready to take a loan on your home, you need to already be making some profit, because you're going to have to pay that home loan back with interest. So you better have a great idea that's already showing promise before you do that. Another way to get money is through the SBA. That's the Small Business Administration, which is an arm of the federal government. Also, the federal government themselves offer loans. If you go to, just look up federal government grants, and I believe the site is either grants.gov or grant.gov, and they have a list of all of the grants that the federal government offers. But they also they grant to organizations like the SBA, which does its own set of grants. So there are lots of different granting organizations underneath the federal government that offers grants. But you have to look for it. So that requires you to go to the federal government site and enter certain keywords. You'd be surprised what there are grants for. There are also many groups that offer grants, small groups, like the Joyce Foundation. They recently started a new grant for people of color who are starting investment firms or something akin to that, specifically for people of color, so that there are more investment firms with people like us working in the executive positions. There are lots of smaller organizations that offer grants, but they offer grants based on your gender or your ethnicity, and you have to search for it, and that requires a lot of time. So if you look for grant, African American women, you will find grants based on that or loans based on that. If your product or service idea is related to caregivers, look up caregiver grant, digging for it. This requires some ingenuity and time on your part. So when you get off work, instead of watching a TV show, take that 30 minutes or an hour watching that program that's not going to help you make money and spend it on researching grants and loans for your business idea. Instead of heading to the bar to drink for 2 hours, save that money you're going to spend on alcohol. Buy yourself one drink from the grocery store. Sit down at your laptop for that time, that 2 hours, and do some research. Put your idea together. People waste a lot of time on activities that don't help you progress. So television is a big time waster, huge time waster. So if that television program isn't geared towards something that about investing, or something where like Shark Tank, where you're learning how people promote their own ideas, then really cut that down. I agree that there needs to be, everybody needs some time off so the brain can rejuvenate. It helps you be creative, helps you think outside of the box. But once you start spending upwards of 2 hours or more a day on television, on crap television that has no value, and I mean soap operas, story things like Power, and any of those types of shows, that's not helping you progress. Um, it's not helping you intellectually. It's not helping you get your business off the ground. So yes, do find something mindless to do every day for 30 minutes, an hour, but beyond that, you need to be more efficient with your time use, especially when you start a business. You're not going to have time to watch all those programs that you used to. And that's okay, because you're trying to better your life with a business. You're trying to make sure that whether or not you get laid off at work, you have something waiting for you in the background. And that it concludes our workshop for today about how to start a business. I didn't get to address your team, your squad that you need to put together, but I will do that in another workshop. Just go to the Queen Hustle Facebook page to subscribe. And the next time I have a workshop, which will be in about 2 weeks, that will, I don't know what my topic it will be, but I know it will be something that will help you out. So putting your squad together, something I definitely want to talk about. Where to find money is something I definitely need to delve into, because it's not difficult. No, I think that bad. It is difficult to find free money. It is difficult. It's not difficult to find a loan. Lots of people want to loan you money that you got to pay back when you're starting a business and you have little to no resources or assets of your own. It's super difficult, and I will help guide you through that. I also want to talk to people about how to start a business with no money. It is possible to start a business with no money, but you need time. I know people had some specific questions about how to market their business specifically. I need to talk to you on a one-to-one FaceTime or Zoom or what have you about your business, what you are doing, and so I can figure out what else you need to do. So email me. You can reach out through Facebook at Queen Hustle. Facebook is, the at is Queen Hustle. Oh my gosh, I need to eat. Queen Hustle, which is QueenHustle. You can also send an email through queenhustle.com. You can also personally email me at info@queenhustle.com. Again, I'm Natasha, and this workshop today is courtesy of HuonorFoundation.org. Queen Hustle is under that. It's one of our business ideas that we're doing to help people start businesses. People just like you who just got your stimulus check. You don't exactly want to waste it on paying bills. That can just wait a little bit until you get your hustle on. Also, this is one of my businesses, which is NM Jewels CBD products. And I can tell you how I started this in another workshop. And you too can start a personalized body care line or personalized food item or what have you. I'll tell you all about this. And just to remind you, I am at Jules Caribbean Restaurant in one of their offices. This one's called the Graffiti Room. Jules Caribbean. I'm just going to hold this up here. Jules Caribbean. You can go to julescaribbean.com to find out more about this graffiti room, which you can rent for your broadcasts or your birthday parties. It holds about 20 to 30 people. There's tables and chairs suitable for 2-person tables, 4-person. You can find out more about our graffiti room in our dining area. We also do kitchen rental. You can go to julescaribbean.com for more. Thank you for tuning in. This particular stream will be up for a while. I'm not sure how long YouTube will let me keep it up, but I'll keep it up as long as I can on my channel, Natasha, Jewels. All right, thank you. And again, if you need to contact me, info@queenhustle.com. Have a great evening and a great 2021. I'm so happy I'm starting this series for you online instead of just doing my personal consultation. And I look forward to talking to you all again.